From the very beginning, the Sabbath was a gift, an invitation to rest, to pause, and to reconnect, a sacred day set apart by God Himself. But what does the Bible really say about the Sabbath? Why was it given, and what lessons can we learn today? Let's journey through Scripture and uncover the incredible story of the Sabbath. In the very first pages of the Bible, we find the origins of the Sabbath. After 6 days of powerful creation, forming the heavens and the earth, the land and the seas, the plants, the animals, and finally mankind, God did something extraordinary on the 7th day. Genesis 2:2-3 tells us, "And on the 7th day, God ended His work which He had done, and He rested on the 7th day from all His work which He had done. Then God blessed the 7th day and sanctified it, because in it He rested from all His work which God had created and made." God didn't rest because He was tired. He rested to set an example for us, to establish a rhythm of work and rest, to create a holy day where humanity could step away from labor and spend time with their Creator. Fast forward to Mount Sinai. God's people, the Israelites, had been rescued from slavery in Egypt, where they had worked relentlessly with no rest, no pause. And so when God gave them His commandments, one of them was a reminder, a call to remember what was already established at creation. Exodus 28:11 says, "Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord your God. In it you shall do no work. For in 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and rested the 7th day. Therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it." The Sabbath was not just a law, it was a declaration of freedom, a weekly reminder that God's people were no longer slaves, no longer bound by endless labor, but set apart to worship and rest in Him. Centuries later, when Jesus walked the earth, the Sabbath had become burdened with human traditions. Religious leaders had added rule upon rule, making the day of rest feel like a day of restriction. But Jesus brought clarity. He showed the true purpose of the Sabbath. In Mark 2:27-28, Jesus said, "The Sabbath was made for man, and not man for the Sabbath. Therefore the Son of Man is also Lord of the Sabbath." Jesus healed, He taught, He did good on the Sabbath. Because at its core, the Sabbath is about restoration, about experiencing the goodness and mercy of God. So what does the Sabbath mean for us today? It remains an invitation, an opportunity to step away from the busyness of life, to find rest in God, to spend time with loved ones, to worship, to reflect, and to be renewed. Isaiah 58:13-14 tells us, "If you turn away your foot from the Sabbath, from doing your pleasure on my holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight, the holy day of the Lord honorable, and shall honor Him, then you shall delight yourself in the Lord." The Sabbath is not a burden. It's a blessing. It's God's gift to us, a day to pause, to reconnect, and to delight in Him. In the Hebrew tradition, the Sabbath, or Shabbat, is observed on the 7th day of the week, Saturday, from sunset on Friday evening until sunset on Saturday evening. While some Christian denominations like the Eastern Orthodox and Seventh-day Adventists observe the Sabbath on Saturday, most Christians, including Catholics and many Protestant denominations, observe a Lord's Day on Sunday, the first day of the week, which commemorates the resurrection of Jesus. The concept of the Sabbath is rooted in the creation story in Genesis, where God rested on the 7th day after creating the world. The Sabbath is also mentioned in the 10 Commandments, which instructs people to remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. During the Sabbath, religious Jews refrain from work and engage in activities like prayer, study, and family time. The story of the Sabbath is one of love, a reminder that in a restless world, God has given us rest, a call to remember, to keep, and to cherish the gift He set apart from the beginning of time. So as the Sabbath approaches, may we embrace it with joy and gratitude, and may we find the peace that only God can give.